Hey, what's up everybody? Dark Underworlds through Invert Scene here in video 113. How's everybody doing? We're doing a magic ritual. I started wizarding school on January 1st, 2021. I gotta kind of holographically encode everything in each video so people can catch up. But basically we've been working with moon magic. It's the easiest, softest form of planetary energy that we can work with. So this is our second moon ritual. And what we do is at the beginning stages, we start to build up this inner mental construct, right? This informational matrix, right? Because as within, so without, right? So sometimes I sit and reflect, right? I reflect on my inner mental surface, on the state of our whole world in this cosmos that we're in, right? I reflect on it and I try to see how things could be improved. What's missing? What's less joyful about it, and how we can correct it and sort of weave the fabric and work with the fabric of reality. And so moon magic is a really easy way to do that. And like I said, it's about imprinting on our consciousness these positive patterns that we want to feed, that we want to grow with. So as always, I'm here today to show love. You got to show love in all kinds of different ways so this beautiful lady doesn't get bored, you know. But I really like girls that can sing, you know. I like these singers and these musicians, right? Aha! Chanty ladies. Chanty ladies. They always got a new song, you know. They always got so many songs. It's part of why I love them, you know. I try to show them so much love. I try to show them, you know. I'm always calling their names. I'm always showing their names and their marks because I love them so much. But check out this binder I worked on today. I kind of copied this from someone a little bit, but I made some changes to it. So to charge it up, I'm talking into it, I'm vibrating my words at it. So we're charging it up, and by showing it to people, that charges it up and it helps imprint this concept into people's mind, you know. But what it is there, it's basically a representation of the 4 rivers of Eden, right? And these sacred yew trees. And what it's doing is it's flowing this river water out, right? We're opening the rabbit hole. And what this rune is there to do, it's about revealing secrets and all these things that have been hidden, and it's bringing people the things that they need. It's bringing all humanity things they need to see that's been hidden from them. And this moon ritual all revolves around Medusa and Perseus and Pegasus, which is all about these doorways between the overworld and the underworld and getting this healing flow. Pegasus, her fountain and her spring, coming out from Eden and flowing to all 4 corners of the earth, and we're opening the rabbit hole of secrecy, and we're letting it heal. We're letting all these hidden secrets come out into the open and heal. And so we're going to see with this Perseus ritual is that there's 3 really important things that are all connected. Number 1 is the ancient history of the past, which has been hidden from us, right? Number 2 is the corruption of our monetary system based on human slavery. That's number 2. That's being revealed and it's being healed by this ritual. And number 3, the sexual exploitation and slavery, and in particular the enslavement and the concealment of and shaming of the powerful divine feminine that gives life to everything on earth. If you're a human being and you're watching this and you're not a bot, you know, even if you're a bot, you got a motherboard still. But if you're a human being, you can't. Everything you have and everything you are comes from the goddess. And if you negate that and you diminish her power and you diminish her respect in any way, you diminish yourself. And that's why people around the world are enslaved right now, is because they've diminished themselves and they don't see that they're born from this divine feminine power and these sacred springs of dawning, right? So we've been working a lot with this myth and seeing how this myth shows the secret. It has all the solutions to these 3 problems that I indicated. And so that's why we're propagating it out, and we're helping people with these symbols and the symbolism to help them find the keys to unlock this whole thing, right? So we're working a lot with words and languages, right? And this is part of what's been hidden. And our communication sciences and our language is all babbled up by these Babeli priests in their Babel, in their Bible, and their Biblos, right, of Tyre, and their papers and their papyri and their reeds, right? They're not telling people the decryption cipher. They've been hiding it and concealing it like a bunch of Jesuit bastards. They're trying to hide the code and not teach the code to people so that they don't know what's going on, so they can pull one over on somebody, right? Well, luckily, I'm revealing all this. And, you know, I'm just an agent in this process. I'm just showing what's been there all along. I'm just helping people decode it a little bit because I've been given the gift of the fire of the Spirit, the anointment of the Holy Spirit. It's in my blood, you know. I have Odin's blood, and I have this divine blood of Yeshua and these Yahweh priests. I got so much divine blood from all these different rivers, right? Flowing out, flowing in and flowing out. It's flowing into me and helping me tap into intuition, and it's flowing out through my words and through these videos as a gift for all humanity, freely given, right? I don't engage in these Barbary piracies and all this Babili type of concept. I reveal everything. I reveal it all, and I give you the script. I show you the script, and I give you the cipher to break it all down and open it up so we can all be free. But today's hero is Medusa, right? So we look at her name and it gets all these secrets, right? So this is often translated as a guardian, right? But if you look at all the ladies in this myth, their names are very, very important. Okay, so Danae we talked about, that's about donations, and it's about this river goddess Danu and Ariadanu and Eridanus, this river in the sky, the river of the heavens. That's the fifth river of Eden that flows down and feeds all the four rivers, right? But Medusa and Andromeda, okay, this relates to the Medes, the Parthians and the Medes, right? Perseus is Parthians and Andromeda is the Medes, right? So luckily, these guys got a lot of power, and these are the ones that crushed Babylon and broke down their slavery system. But unfortunately, it's been rebuilt, and we're still living in it. But Perseus and Medusa have the power to shatter the system, and it's all in their words and their names. And by chanting it out and speaking it out to everybody, like my chanty ladies that I love so much, you know, we're trying to get them decrypted and deciphered and show all the different permutations of these words so they can see who they are. But let's look at Medusa. Okay, so that in Greek sums up to 720. So that's 2 circles, right? Very sacred circles, right? So there's all kinds of words, but I want to focus on 2 key ones that basically summarizes, or I guess 3 would be most useful. 3 words that summarize everything good comes in 3s, like these 3 ladies and these 3 goddesses, right? So everything good comes in 3s. So what do we have here with Medusa? So another 720 is thures, which is a door or an opening and an opportunity. Like you say, there's if you're trying to cross a busy street, you wait for an opening to make your move, or wait for the timing to be right. Then this opening and this opportunity occurs. And if you look at Old Port, unity, opportunity, right? You're looking for that one doorway that's going to open the way. So what is opening the way to? Well, first of all, it's opening bondage. Douleas, which means bondage, be chained up, right? And it's opening that bondage, and it's giving us the ability. This is a really long one. Greeks have these really long words sometimes. Apodedo kimas menon. Apodedo kimas menon. To disallow something, to forbid something. So what are we doing? We have an opportunity to forbid slavery. We have an opportunity to forbid and disallow bondage through the power of Medusa. So there's a couple key aspects to this Medusa and what her power is, right? So keep in mind, Thures, right? She exists at the door to Styx, right? This Hades, this underworld. That's where she kicks it, in the temple of Athena, this wisdom goddess. And she's one of these crones, right? Because she's almost immortal. You know, she's the only mortal one of the Gorgons, right? But she's the most powerful. Through her mortality, she actually gains power by guarding this gateway into the underworld, right? That's how she gains wisdom and power. So another 720 that we see is nous, which relates to noetics, right? This nous, this sacred aspect of the consciousness, the higher faculties of intellect, higher perception and awareness. And to me, this is just psychic power. This is knowing by tapping into the innate noetic field, right? The noosphere, this universal field of unconscious knowledge of all humanity. So if you could just tap directly into that, you don't need to learn, and you don't need to deduce nothing. You don't have to use logic. You don't have to use any words. You just go right into the field of noetics, and you just get it. Just pull it right out. It's that door into the noetic field. So let's look at another word, ekopte, which means cut off. But if you look at it and break it down, ek means out, right? And kopte means one of these cops or these cups, but it also means the skull, right? So it means to cut off, and it means out of the opto, out of the eye, right? So just like, okay, you have these 3 fates that Perseus encounters, and they give him the eye to see where Medusa's at. So out of that eye, he finds Medusa. And just like Medusa's name totals ekopte, which means cut off and out of the eye, right? So You're using her eye and her wisdom to obtain knowledge through supernatural and instantaneous means of the noetic sciences, right? So she's a wisdom goddess, very important. And her wisdom gives us the opening to disallow bondage. And so there's another key, basically a word that we get was Kupron, which means Cyprus, the island of Cyprus. And interestingly, just like Pegasus opens these wells and Medusa guards the gateway between the overworld and the underworld, Cyprus is the home of one of the oldest archaeological remains of a well in human history. And I'm going to go ahead and intend that this relates to Parthenos, right, the virgin birth, and it Perthro, this rune of the magic bag of Eden and the apple tree, the pear tree, and Perthor, right? Just like Pegasus carries Zeus's lightning, and Pegasus stamps the hoof on the ground to reveal the spring. So if you have flowing water underground, it's got a lot of static electricity. So that could cause lightning to strike the ground and open a chasm into this underground flow of water. And so that's what we're doing with our bind rune. We're opening the rabbit hole. We're opening this gateway to the life-giving waters at the source, at the headwaters of all life, right? Just like Medusa is the head, her head is what gives power, her intellect and her psychic power, right? And I found out a lot of cool stuff researching this today, which was that this Medusa theme, some people say it comes from the Berbers and these barbarians and these Barbary pirates, right? They had Medusa. She's all over the world. It's not just exclusive to Greeks and so on. But yeah, so we see a lot of this hidden history here. And so that's what we're doing. We're using the symbolism, right? We're using the symbolism of all these gods. And as we reveal and decrypt their names and their secret powers, it gives freedom and it gives us the power to create a new Eden and to have this flow, to open up the above and the below through the power of Iwaz, this messenger rune, right, that connects above and below, and it's this symmetry and this mirroring, right? One of my greatest heroes is this guy Carl Jung, and he has this book called Memories, Dreams, and Reflections. And in that book, he talks about his personal psychological evolution and how he uses internal symbolism of his mind, right, to reveal these hidden secrets. And one of the key visions that he described in that book was he had this vision of a pillar, and it was top half white, bottom half black. So he saw that as the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, right? And so, you know, Pinky's been helping me, man. Mr. Pinecone, Mr. Cypress Pine, he's helping me a lot. He's given me the CP and these Confederate postal codes, right, about the postal reform. And he taught me about John White Geary, right, who Geary Boulevard. This Geary was a big-time Freemason, and he was guarding the Solomon Lodge number 1 in Savannah, Georgia, where I used to live pretty near there. And basically, you know, he revealed to me a lot about these postal codes and these secret communications of this Rothschild spy network, which, you know, was highly connected to the U.S. Postal Service. And you see at these critical periods of history where, you know, the Rothschilds tried to infiltrate and produce the Civil War and divide America and reconquer it, you know. And they had some degree of success and were oppressed under their Leviathan right now through their financial system. That's like a link of chains. It's like the Masonic chain of union. And I mean, to me, Freemasonry and the Illuminati and the Jesuits, it's all just cover faces, like the 3 faces of the Gorgons covering up the Rothschild family. And they created Hitler, they created our monetary system, they created central banking that's almost completely conquered the world. But luckily their code's running out and all their Babili. I have all the ciphers to it, right? And I have all the codes and I'm unlocking it. And luckily this is through the common heritage of humanity. You know, we're giving this gift through the human heritage, right? And we're providing everything that these men lack. We're giving them manas from heaven, right? See the manas right there? And healing the lack. We're giving the lacking humanity, we're healing it, right? So, you know, none of this would possible at all without my chanty ladies, right? She started it all. Every single one of these. I've made 113 of these videos, and that's not including the music ones, but they're all dedicated to her. They're all dedicated to her. Without my love for her, none of this would have ever happened. I was completely dead inside. You know, I was hanging out at the River Styx with Medusa, right? My chanty ladies woke my heart up, and that was the beginning of this whole journey. So everything I do, it's dedicated to her. But on her behalf, you know, out of my love for her, we're freeing all human bondage, we're freeing the captives, we're ending this Babylon slavery system through the power of my word. And by opening all these rabbit holes, right, we're showing the truth, and we're giving it freely out to humanity and showing them how to decrypt the cipher and create a new system of freedom and end slavery and all the sex trafficking for good.